Hello again, this is BGFH. Welcome back to Illegally Cited, and we are back. As you can tell, we are in Minecraft again. And I'm back on the creative server where I've taken you through some of my projects and mine and Jawbreaker's projects on the server. We did the castle tour, we did the cooperative tour where I showed you a lot of Jawbreaker stuff here. And then I've been giving you little incremental updates on the epic project that I've been working on for quite some time now, the tower city that I've been working on. Still haven't come up with a name for it, but I keep going back to Crater Lake because that's sort of what it is. So I'm pleased to say that I'm going to take you on one final major tour of this Crater Lake city because over the past couple of weeks I've been able to make some nice progress, listen to some audiobooks and been playing some Minecraft again, and I have been kind of getting some major progress done, major working on this city. And aside from any really crazy weird errors that I find or minor little updates that I might do to a room or something like that, yeah, I'm proud to say that the Crater Lake City, Tower City, is essentially done. So I wanted to walk through it with you guys. And like I said, if you want to go back and watch some of the earlier videos just to see how things have changed and the overall kind of, timeline and snapshots of where things were at the time, just kind of an interesting thing to see where things were back then. But yeah, I want to take you through one big old tour of my Crater Lake city that I'm actually really quite proud of is how it turned out. So we're starting, the reason I started here, we're in the middle of the big old stadium building, as we jokingly call it on the server. We're in Jawbreaker's big old stadium big area here, which is our hub, which takes us to all of our different places. His places is over there, my castle's over there somewhere, and different things like that. And I'm just going to walk you through and describe the city for you guys, and I'm going to try to do a little bit better job this time as we're going through the buildings. I'll tell you about how I got some of the things to work and how I came up with some of the ideas and whatnot, but I also want to try to give a little bit better kind of a description for those who can't see the screen as well, what types of things and what things look like and what I created. So with that, away we go. So we came up the stairs from the major hub point, and I have two entrances to the city from this stadium hub. And this is our major one. I'll show you the other minor one later. But this is the main entrance to the city. So we've got this cobblestone path. We've got these kind of stone slabs and whatnot on either side, a little bit of quartz, just white quartz blocks just to accent on either side of the cobblestone here. And as we're walking down the path, we have, again in Minecraft, and just not only that, if you're on a path, you want it to be well lit. So Jawbreaker had been playing around with some of the new blocks that come out in one of the recent versions of Minecraft, and kind of came up with a few different ideas, and one of which I liked and I adopted for the whole streetlights sort of thing in the city. We've got these little cobblestone pillar fences, and then the beacon blocks, which I think I like the look of these because they give off light, but it also has like a modern look to it, I think, which kind of matches like the modern big old skyscraper city aesthetic. So walking down the path, and before we get to the city proper, we got just a nice little rectangular fountain that's lit up in the middle there. Yeah, so just got a big old rectangular fountain that we can walk all the way around. There's a cobblestone path. I can go down this left path here, or I can walk all the way around. Pretty simple, but I think it works pretty well. Now, this staircase here, this is, if you look in some of the earlier videos, you've seen this really tiny little functional staircase, this little cobblestone staircase, and there is just this big old gap in between where where there wasn't water running down, so there was just this kind of big hole. Rather than trying to rebuild all that, I said, well, let's use what we have and just make this a big, grand staircase going into this crazy tower city. And for those who haven't watched any of the earlier videos, but as we're going through this city, the original idea for this crater lake came about where I believe Jawbreaker was playing with some terrain editing tools for the server at one point, and he had made this big circular crater. It was like a perfect circular crater, and I'm like, hey, I kind of like that. That's kind of neat. I could actually probably do something with that. And at the time, we were also we wanted to build some bigger structures and towers and things like that. And so I thought, I've always wanted to build a big old city. I built a castle then, and I wanted to build a city. And I thought, well, what if I was constrained by, just to make something unique for a city, what if I had this circular crater, so I had this set amount of space to work in, and I wanted to build a city? How would you go about doing that, just in general, just as a player, and even just like a societal, like if you had that sort of restriction that you had to follow, how would you do it? So I came up with the idea of, well, I wanted to build a tower, well, work in that constraint, and I like the crater with the water around it idea, and I just started building this. I said, okay, we're going to make a whole bunch of towers, and each tower is going to have a theme that's going to contribute to the overall city. And that's how the whole Crater Lake city started. So we go down this really wide staircase with the glowing glowstone there in the middle, and the fence, the railings there. And if you look in any of the earlier videos, none of this landscaping, none of this outer building exteriors, none of the actual outsides were done really at all in any of the earlier videos. So this is all brand new. And again, I'm just really surprised at the dimensions and really pleased with how everything turned out. So as you come down the stairs, you've got, I put everything into its own little block, kind of a deal. And the first thing that you encounter is the city park. So we've got all around the city, it follows this cobblestone road theme. And then you have these stone half slab blocks that really kind of look like an actual sidewalk, with all the cracks and stuff in it. And then you have these, primarily I use a lot for landscaping, I use some trees here and there. And then I also use a lot of like hedges kind of thing. So I take different types of leaves and I put them down. And one thing to make things look better in Minecraft, you always have to kind of be creative for lighting. So originally I had put soil down there, I had put some dirt down there, and it worked, but you kind of got some irregular lighting in that, and I really wanted it just to show it off really well. So, and I'm glad we're kind of playing at night, because I think the city just looks so awesome at night, even compared to the daytime. And so we kind of put these glowstone blocks a couple blocks down to hide them, so you really don't notice them unless you're really looking for them. But you've got these hedges all the way around the park, and it's used almost everywhere around the city. So first, I'll walk you through the park, and it's it's just a small, simple little park, nothing fancy. This I forget what it's called, but there's a new dirt type. It's like an actual soil kind of thing with like leaves and stuff in it, and that's what the path is here. I just made it out of. This came out in just the most recent Minecraft update, and I really like it for stuff like that. But we've got a path here, and we've got our big gazebo in the middle of the park, complete with a couple of picnic tables. Nice and well lit. Kind of tried to do a nice little, I'll fly up here for, oops, come on. Oh, trees everywhere. That's why. But, yeah, so I just kind of did a simple roof there, and, come on, there we go. Try to do something a little bit more artistic with the roof there to make things interesting. We got some picnic tables over here on the right in the grass, just as well. And then I came up with the idea, I'm like, we got all these trees here, and what could I realistically put in them just to make it interesting? And in one of their more recent updates, they also added this carpet block that I've used in buildings, but what I also just used it for is I used it for a blanket. So in the park, you've got, I don't have any villagers here, but it's meant to look like, okay, you've got a picnic blanket here. You've got a chest, which kind of represents their picnic basket. And I just scattered a few of those in different patterns all throughout the park. So I thought that was kind of a nice little way to, make it look interesting, add a little more detail to the world. And again, I put some torches on the trees just because I had to light it somehow, and using glowstone and stuff would just look really weird. So, maybe they just put little torches or little lanterns or something up along the park to light the way for the public. We'll just kind of run with that kind of a theme here. Yeah, a couple more picnic baskets and picnic tables around here on the other side. So you have another path going outside of the park on the opposite side of it when you go around the gazebo. And there you go, we're out of the park. And now we are in front of City Hall. This is the original building that I started with, the first tower that I built. And the one thing that I will say, as I progressed throughout, and you'll notice this as we go through the final big tour of the city here, I'm going to go in the order that I kind of built them, because not only will you get to see the buildings in their finished form, but, and this is something to keep in mind when you're actually learning and playing Minecraft, you see one thing that people start with right away is like, how do you build all that? I can just build these simple little crappy projects, and believe me, I didn't start this way. I mean, you go back and look at my castle, it is so primitive compared to the work that I'm doing in here now. But back in the day, I thought it was pretty awesome. I thought it was pretty badass. So, and I still like it, but so you'll get to see not only how everything is finished in the city, but you'll see my progression and build style improve over time. And I have gone back, and that's why I'm going through some of the buildings I went through originally in the earlier videos. That's why I'm going through some of them again now, because I have gone back and applied a few things, some of the later building techniques that I've learned to basically make the buildings look a little better. Before I go into City Hall, I'm going to do that in the next video, but before I do that, I want to really quick I'm going to fly up a little bit, and I want to take you through a street tour. We'll walk it actually when we're going to each of the buildings, but I want to, now that we're out of the park, just do a quick flyover and show you the overall outside of the city. So we come down the steps. You can turn left toward the hospital, you can turn right toward the school, or go through the park straight ahead. And we're flying around over the park. We got City Hall in the middle. We have our sports center, recreation building over there on the right. If we keep going down past the sports center and City Hall, we have our apartment complex for the city's residents. We have our shopping center, which is straight in front of us, the big blue and white and brick checkerboard building that looks kind of cool. And then if we fly over here, on the other side of City Hall, if I fly on back toward the park, so as you come down the steps and you turn left instead, you come to the big hospital, which I will walk you through in a future video. And then we have our courthouse, police station, fire station, and prison. So public service building, actually. And the whole left side of the city here is where I think I really came into my element and kind of just started experimenting more with building styles. And those buildings are going to be fun to walk through. And finally, the last building that I have in the city that I just finished working on, and I love this building, it looks so cool, is the movie theater, arcade, hotel, and casino. So you've got your resident building over there on the other side of your shopping center, and then you have your visit place for visitors to stay. And before I wrap up this video and start going through City Hall, I will just mention, like I said, there is, I'm going to cheat and fly over. So we had our main path that we walked into the city from. That's our main path that most people would enter. But when I go through the hospital, maybe I'll talk a little bit about it some more. But basically, we also have on this side of our city, or of the big stadium, we have another entrance here where I can go straight down, or I can walk over to the left on this higher level, and I can enter the hospital right from the stadium. So if you had somebody, let's say, that didn't live in town and they were in whatever one of these projects from anywhere else that branch off, they can come directly into the hospital, into the city, and get service that way. So I'll walk that a little bit more when we do the hospital video. But for now, I'm going to fly back on over to the entrance of City Hall. And I'm going to stop the video here. And I'm going to, we'll leave it off here. And we'll continue the tour of Crater Lake in the next video. Talk to you guys later.